So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us in our live talk. And I'm so happy and thankful for everyone that's joining us. And thank you for making time because I know time is very precious. You making time to spend it with us and just to look into what supervision is all about is really something that I appreciate very much. So, thank you again for making time to join us. And to everyone that is new, let me take a few minutes, allow me to take a few minutes to just introduce myself. My name is Ellen Patricia, and I am currently heading a foundation called Pusur Emas Foundation, which hosted this regular live talks. And if you would like to know more about us, you can go to our website, which is at www.pusuremas.com. And there you will find all the information about us. Uh, Before that, I just want to know anyone who is joining, feel free to say hi in the comment box so that I can acknowledge your presence. It's always good for me to know that it's wonderful to just create that sense of interactiveness, to know who is there, who is watching, and if I can say hi to you, I think that would be amazing. So yeah, just announce your presence so that I can say hi and acknowledge your presence. Hey, I'm seeing Ibu Sipora and Buina. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for making time. Good evening. So, and anyone else who wants to say hi, feel free to do so and just put your name in the comment box, say hi so I can acknowledge your presence. And before we start our talk, I would like to just introduce a little bit about our foundation. So our foundation is based in Indonesia and we have three focuses, which is coaching, counseling, as well as personal development. So today's talk is actually linked to one of that, which is coaching. And our foundation have three core values. The first one is growth. The second one is positivity. And the third one is value itself. So growth meaning we always try to grow both as an organization as well as individuals within the organization. So that's why we build the coaching culture into the organization. Everyone within the organization will have a coach because we also have a coaching and counseling center that we manage within the organization. So we believe in coaching. So that's why we provide that to our people that is working in the foundation. As well as an organization, we also strive to grow. The way we mark our growth is actually by programs, meaning we try to issue or offer at least one new program every year. That means we really have to think what kind of program that will be suitable and beneficial for our audience and how we can innovate in a way that that addition will not make us burn out, but it will continue to elevate us into a new level. So that's sort of this year we sort of transform a number of our program into video learning. So we don't have to show up live. And that way we can continually add up the program that we offer up to our audience. So that's about the growth. And positivity, it speaks for itself. So we try to think positively, speak positively, behave positively, not in a way that is toxic. We still like embrace and acknowledge there are some negative experiences, some things that we find unpleasant, and we try to embrace that so that we can just release it and embrace back the positive within whatever that is unpleasant. So it's really about embracing what is and appreciating what is in everything. And the last one is the value itself. So by value, it means we try to give value in whatever that we do, be it paid program, be it free program like this, we always strive to bring value. So that's something that always guides us in whatever that we do, in whatever that we decide. So if you are also valuing the same things, I think you are in the right place. And if you are also someone that really deep into personal development or professional development, especially in coaching, and I also think this talk is something that you will find very beneficial. So let me see if I see someone again here. Oh, Andre, thank you for joining us. Yeah, thank you as well for having the time and also acknowledging and appreciating our program. Thank you, really appreciate it. So again, if you are here, please feel free to just announce your presence so that I can acknowledge it. And like I say, it's always good to have that sense of interactiveness, even though we meet virtually. So another thing that I would like to say before I introduce our amazing speaker is a program that we are going to have upcoming. It is going to be hosted in our current language, my native language, which is Bahasa Indonesian. So we have this coaching clinic whereby it is only for a limited people. We only take on 6 people for each batch because we want to make that experience a deep experience. Because like I say, we value quality, we value the value itself. It may not sound scalable to some people, just taking a small number of groups, but for us, it is something that we choose because, like I say, we value growth, we value value itself. So that's how we think would be the best for that program. We have another program that is for mass, but for this one, we think that would be best if we do it for intimate groups. So again, only for 6 people for the coaching clinic. And I think we are going to do it for the 8th batch this time round. And it's going to start on the 4th of April. And really, it's really about having a time and a container to reflect together on the coaching practice. So it's really for people who are already coaching, but we don't really define how many years you're already coaching. So it's not like compulsory to have so many hours before you join the programs. Whenever you are already coaching, then you are actually eligible to join the program. As long as you come with an open heart and you come with an open mind and you come with, I would say, I'm not sure whether courage will be the right word. Probably just playfulness, just to be open with whatever that emerge and just to be open to see how can we transmute that into something that beneficial that you can bring forward into your journey. So that's what we is providing for coaches who are in the country because we are delivering again in Bahasa Indonesian. So if you're interested to know more, you can contact us. You can reach out us by email at busuramas@ymail.com, or you can visit our website and fill in the contact us. Or you can contact also our, I think you're going to see it on the screen soon. You can contact via the numbers that is going to show in the screen. So that's something that we made available. And again, we start on the 4th of April. It only for the program itself consists of 6 hours and it is run in 3 days. So each day we will meet for 2 hours. So that is the time commitment that you will need to make when you want to join the program. Again, if you want to know further details, feel free to contact the person and the number that is showing on your screen so that you can get the information. So let me just check if there's anyone else that I can say hi to in the comment box. Welcome, Bafatio. Welcome, Margaret. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for making time. I hope you will find this beneficial. And now I am going to introduce our wonderful speaker, which is Jillian Walters. She is an MCC holder, which is like the highest credential level in ICF. And she is also the recipient of the Supervision Award by EMCC. So she is actually someone that has a wide experience in supervision. And if you want to know anything about supervision, feel free to just post your questions in the comment box because I'll be checking them every now and then so that I can include them in our conversation. And as we talked about supervision, if you have any questions that you want to clarify, feel free as well to just put it in the comment box so that I can just bring it up and again include it into the conversation. So let me see. Sorry. My phone just closed itself. Okay, so let me try to reopen it and just give me less than 1 minute. Okay, now I have it. Oh, welcome, Buesa. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so Gillian Walter, who is she? So let me read you a short bio of hers that is going to just blow you away. And I'm just informing everyone that would like to know Gillian more. She is actually a writer as well. And the book, I just got it for myself, which is amazing. If I can just show you, this is the book. If you see this, this is like my bookmark. So it's called Choir of Brave Voices, Creative Reflection for a Seasonal Journey of Self-Discovery. And what's amazing, she's also, I just came to know just now, she's also having a supervision section at the back part of the book. And if you would like to know more about supervision and coaching supervision, or just want to just self-reflect, I think you will find this book wonderful because I've opened it and I find it mesmerizing. So I really recommend the book. And let me introduce to the writer of the book, who is also a very seasoned coach and supervisor. And she is Gillian Walter, who is born in England, but now living at Lake Zurich in Switzerland with her family and dog. And she loves having different homes, different languages, and different cultures. Her passions are for people, stories, creativity, and fun, which fits beautifully with her role as a coach, coach supervisor, artist, writer, and educator. So all these roles, according to her, have the same things that money can buy in common, which is safe space to breathe, peace to reflect, peace to clean our reality spectacles to open up new perspective. So with that, I am presenting you Gillian Walter. Hi, Gillian.
Hi, Ellen. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you.
My pleasure indeed. Thank you for making time and just share your experiences and the gems that you got from your experiences. I think I'm very confident it's going to benefit everyone that is already making time to hear us.
Yeah.
So, before we start into the conversation, I wonder if you would like to share with us what are you doing today? How is your activity? Anything else that you would like us to know before we dive into the conversation?
Well, as you know, when we first joined the call together, there was like an end of days thunderstorm happening here and hail flying from the sky and thunder and lightning. And now the sun's coming out. So if the sun continues like this, then I shall probably be going out with my dog when this is over. Spend some
Hmm,
time in the woods.
that sounds lovely. And I can imagine that kind of lifestyle is something that really creates time to just take in life and reflect and learn from whatever that's coming. So that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
as we were saying as well, today is there's the summertime change happened, so we were in a little bit of a stress and panic. What time is it really? Uh, and whatever time it is or isn't, or how the clocks change or don't change, just being in the woods with nature, watching spring just do what spring does in this part of the world. It doesn't really take much notice of the time. It just keeps on happening.
Hmm.
A
Yeah,
good
I also love
reminder.
nature. Yeah. So I wonder, with your current life, um, I'm not sure how you live your life prior to that, but my curiosity would be what in the first place that brings you into this supervisory world?
Ah, yeah. Um, well, when I got into coaching, I went through all the steps and I did the course and got my ACC and then the other courses and the next courses and the next courses. And there's this real love of learning and trying to discover what it was I didn't know yet. And I found myself constantly wondering, whether I was getting it right. Am I doing this right? Would there have been a better way to do that? And coaching, even though you're working with every kind of human being, is phenomenally lonely, really.
Mm.
I realized that what I'd been doing was trying to do course after course after course to discover what it was I didn't know. And I think that could just go on forever, because the more we learn, the more we realize we don't know. And a friend of mine, my best friend actually, back in the UK, was taking more the therapy route as I was taking the coaching route, and having supervision, regular supervision. And I was hearing just how useful this was as a place to, as you said, stop and reflect, stop and play, stop and just notice what was happening. And then it really did, but those supervision sessions sounded quite, technical is the wrong word, but quite full on, very ethical, very, am I ticking the right boxes? And it reminded me that when I was a primary school teacher, I was also having supervision. So it was something that wasn't happening as regularly, but something I got such a lot of joy out of, because again, there were the ethics and, are you doing this job properly? But there was that real encouragement to see things from the point of view of the child. And different children with different ways of learning and different ways of experiencing, and just how do we get this learning experiential for many, many, many different small human beings. And I think just thinking about supervision from my experience like that, which was a playfulness, and you quite rightly said, bring playfulness, bring courage and bring playfulness. And then I was really very lucky, because one of my coaching trainers that I'd stayed in touch with actually introduced me to the Coaching Supervision Academy. And I became so fascinated with what it was all about and the science behind it. And then I joined up for a course, not really knowing what to expect, but knowing that supervision and what am I doing, how am I doing it, where's the courage, where's the joy, where's the awe and wonder about what else could be, was just fascinating me. And actually I joined the course to find more about coaching supervision, because at the time I couldn't find a supervisor in this area. So I thought the next best way of finding out about what coaching supervision is to take the course. So I didn't really expect to become a supervisor, and just became so hooked with the whole phenomenon that is supervision, that, as you said, I became an EMCC supervisor, and also for the European Association of Supervisor and Coaches, and also a supervisor for the new team coaching accreditation with the ICF, and with the Coaching Supervision Academy too. So my supervision journey didn't stop there. It was, what else don't I know about supervision? So I guess that learning bug hasn't stopped. I've just got into all different sorts of supervision ways now. But it was really just starting for that magical something, that magical space that we used to have as a child, that awe and wonder, and ended up where I was the one holding the space for the magic to happen. So
Wow, that's so amazing. And that just reminds me of one of your poems, which is titled Magic. And I find it so far, I mean, that's my favorite one. Not to say that the other one is not good. It's just that I find it so amazing, that it's simple, but yet so profound and so deep. So I'm wondering, would you like to share that with the audience and also let them share that magic and see how can we actually, not how that actually relates to this magic that you say actually exists with the container of supervision.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm happy to share that poem, but I think just first, the fact that I used it as a magic spell for myself, I used it as a centering, a grounding, and a lightheartedness. So to center and ground myself while things were going crazy with COVID, and I was supervising coaches, therapists, even that were really dealing with impossible situations. It was a way of putting my feet back on the floor and opening up that magical space, even though everything around us just didn't feel magical. So it had to be simple, it had to be quick. So magic is actually a little song that I sing to myself. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, canvas, heart and thought align. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I feel, think and see again. How do you want to see? Clear up high, still dancing free. How do you do that then? Well, I just count from 1 to 10. And then I would do my 1 to 10 breathing. And I can feel it's already kind of lightened my heart and put a smile on my face.
That's so beautiful. And so yeah, so lighthearted. Like I said, it's really like a childlike mode. Like we really shift our being into that mode. And from that mode, we show up. And I think it's really, I imagine if I show up in that mode, whenever I show up in that mode, it's something that always fun, always exciting, not really needing to know what lays ahead because I know that it's going to be fun anyhow. So I think that's magic in itself.
And another always that I would add on to your amazing list is it's always here. It's always here. We just have to find a way of accessing it. And that really is the foundation for supervision. Whatever else is going on, however heavy, however difficult, however challenging, however stuck, however sticky and tricky, it's having that space where we can breathe here, we can explore here. This is a safe space. And whatever comes is useful. Whatever comes is valuable. Whatever comes is gold that we can take back to our clients.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I'm just curious, like when people experience difficulties in their coaching journey, so usually they will think, oh yeah, probably it will be good if I have a supervisor that can help me process these things so that I can move forward with my coaching journey. But I also do know from real life experience, there are, I'm not sure about your part of the world, but in my part of the world, there are really coaches that think, I think supervision is good, but I don't think I really need that. I think it's for other coaches, but not for me. Yeah. So I wonder, what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah. I would say, well, that's entirely understandable. As every subject that comes to supervision, it's entirely understandable. But as we explore, I mean, I know from my point of view, when I was just starting out on the journey, maybe I would have thought, oh, the things that are maybe keeping me stuck, or the things that are maybe difficult for me, I don't necessarily want to go and say those out loud to somebody, because I'm sure it's just because I'm new. I'm sure it's because I don't know enough yet. maybe other people will think, oh, you know, she's silly, or she should know this, or there's all of this baggage that we bring. And then now, you know, as you said, MCC, this Master Certified Coach, yes, it's as high as you can get with the International Coaching Federation. But then there are two very specific and paradoxical ways of looking at this. And one of them is, oh my goodness, I should know better. I shouldn't be getting stuck. I shouldn't be having difficulty with such an easy thing. I should know what to do here. It's a little bit like, you know, when we're stuck as human beings and we think, oh my goodness, I'm a coach, I should be able to work my way around this. I do this with people every day. That keeps us stuck. And then there's the other side of things where I would really honestly say my experience is the more I learn, the more hours I coach, the more hours I supervise, the more I study, the more I realize that I know this much. So it's like the more I learn, the more I realize there's more to learn. So again, it's that magic, isn't it? It's that there are so many good reasons why we shouldn't go to supervision with this problem, with our experience, with our situation, even with our own finances. However, if we really put our feet on the floor and we can show up with that courage, with that reflective lightheartedness that you so beautifully described, well, there's something to be learned from every way we can look at this. And we bring that back to our client. Because if we believe, well, we're an MCC, we should be able to deal with this ourselves. I'm not going to go and bother a supervisor with it because they might think this, or I might look like that, or I might, I don't know, imposter syndrome, whatever it may be. There is something that we're holding that's also going to hold our clients back. But when we really go in there and say, hey, whatever it is, this is, what can we learn from that? What can we do with that? How can we get playful and reflective about that? It's almost like lightening our load to be curious so that we can be there with the client to lighten their load and help them be curious. It's taking judgment out of the session. So I realize I went off in all sorts of wonderful places there, but coming back to supervision is so hard to explain because it's only for you. It's just for you. It's helping you to take whatever is and turn it into magic so that you can go back to your clients as a better you. And of course, you can learn as many models or tools as you want to. You can go to as many courses as you want, but there's only one Ellen and there's only one Gillian ever, which means the magic is you. The coaching tool that is most magical is you. So how we bring you back to the client, that's the number one ingredient to our magic in supervision, looking after you.
I think that's an amazing explanation about supervision. Like it immediately sort of like help to paint in my mind a clearer picture. Like this is courses. Like courses is like it can be attended by 30 people, 40 people. Like video learning, like 100 people. Like it is not intended to be customized. It is intended to be mass consumed in a mass production way. However, the way you describe supervision, especially supervision in coaching, is really about a customized approach. How the supervisor and the supervisee actually looked at something with the whatever that the supervisee brings, and looked at it together, and both bring their lenses, their perspective, their whatever that they have, and see what's the goal in there that the supervisee can take. It's really about that intimate, that very focused attention to really unpack the goal that exists within the supervisee experience. And I think that's a very different model with taking courses.
Yeah. Yes. And, building on there, listening to you reflecting back, it just reminds me that there's a reason I called my business Inside Out. So I've got Inside Out Coaching, Inside Out Supervision. It's because, and don't get me wrong, I'm a courseaholic. I'm a learneraholic. There are very few courses that I always say, okay, this is my last one. This is the last one for this year. And then another one pops up. Or even more common, in a course, I hear about something else and think, I need to know more about that. But what we're doing in supervision is we're taking all of the course, and we're taking all what we took from the course, but we're using it to expand and maintain and, I don't know, recreate our best coaching tool, which is us. It's like we're building on a Swiss Army knife. There are lots and lots of different ways of doing it, but it's about how that resonates in me and what I'm learning from it. A good example there for me is that I learned about somatic coaching, which is fundamentally using your body and in coaching, and how a client's physical body is resonating to what's being said. And I used to be an interpreter for the deaf in another lifetime. And just bringing those two things together, it hadn't occurred to me that I'm already looking at people's body language. If I have a group of people, I'm very conscious of any movement or anyone doing anything or leaning back or sitting forwards, because it used to be my job as an interpreter for people who weren't speaking, but they were making gestures. And then bringing in this sort of embodiment part, this how the physical body is used in coaching, I was able to bring that together in supervision and then use it for myself, which meant that I was able to then take that knowledge and experiential learning back to my clients. So the course was fundamental. My life as a human being and a unique human being was fundamental, but it was in supervision that I was sort of able to learn what was going on in the case that I brought, but also bring that part of me back into my coaching. So it really is like a safe space for you to become more you.
That is very interesting when you say that. To help coaches to become more of themselves so that they can bring more of themselves. No, it just reminds me to that adage that says, who we are is how we coach. So I wonder what your thoughts about that line.
Well, so it's lovely you bring that up, because who you are is how you coach. That is like the tagline for the Coaching Supervision Academy. And so when I began the course, I didn't really understand what it meant. I was like, well, of course it's me, who else who else could it be? But what it's saying is, whatever your training as a coach, whatever your experience as a human being that runs alongside that, whatever brought you to coaching, there's only ever going to be one of you in the entire history of the world ever. And that gives me goosebumps. I can feel myself just thinking about it, that yes, you can all go to the same course, you will all bring something back. You can maybe have grown up in the same village, but you will all bring something back. And I think back to the inside out, when you go on a course, or even you go through the different steps, whether it's ICF or whatever the professional bodies are, you're ticking their competency box, and you're fulfilling external things, criteria, competencies, learning, exams. And really what we're doing is we're saying the most amazing part of who you are as a human being and a coach is inside you. So go ahead, do the courses, do the external stuff. But really it's about, there's never going to be another combination of skills and strengths and values and experiences and lenses that you view the world through, and all the other wonderful things in the cocktail that makes Ellen Ellen. There's never going to be that again, ever. So the more we can come, when I read that or even sang that little poem, it was my reminder to put my feet on the floor, ground who I am, and open up to what is in the space between this unique human being and the human being in front of me. This is the magic. The more you come home to your authentic self as a coach, then the more you're able to show up for your clients, because me putting my feet on the ground and coming back to me, when I do that, I'm subconsciously giving permission for the client to do that too. And when my agenda is authentic and open, and you even said to yourself, playful, reflective, then whatever comes is exciting. I'm not thinking, oh, should I say this? Should I do that? I don't know what to do with that. It brings that courage that you were talking about originally, because, well, the more you can take whatever comes, even uncertainty, even sticky situations and stuckness, the more you can reflect in each moment, the more you're encouraging your client to reflect in the moment. So the more you're developing, maintaining, polishing the most effective and powerful coaching tool that is you, yes, but you're opening that safe space and a playful space for your client to do that. So there's never ever a waste of time or a waste of money, or it's not for me, for supervision, because we look after ourselves first. Just like on a flight where they say, put your gas mask on first, put your own oxygen mask on. Who you are is how you're going to show up with your clients. And that's the brave voice, isn't it? That's the brave voice. And when we can be with clients with our own authentic brave voice, then we become the choir. And when more than one of us is singing, 1 + 1 = a whole choir. And you can see I'm getting quite excited.
Yes,
Supervision gets me excited. It's a superpower. Supervision. Yeah, supervision is having a super vision. It's having this super perspective of what's playing, like children looking under rocks just to see what might be there or not. It's exciting. It's thrilling. And whatever we come out with, we're always saying, and how is that learning from our exploration? How is this then going to firstly be integrated inside you as the most important coaching tool for this client? And how are we bringing this learning, bringing this new realization about you as a coach back to our clients? It's always client focused, even though, or especially because it's work we're doing on ourselves.
Hmm. No, that's amazing to hear you say that. Like you linked it to the brave voice. And I think it does need bravery to say, at least in my part of the world, that I am going to take care of myself. Because the culture is really how can I take care of others? And that makes me a good person. But when I take care of myself, that sort of make me not so good person. And it does take bravery to go not following that stream, but really taking care of myself, knowing that when I worked on myself, becoming a better version of myself, then I can show up better for my client. And it's not selfish for me to take time to work on myself as a coach. I mean, it sometimes people sort of like confuse it with self-care and professional care, but I think self-care and professional care is sort of like intertwined. I mean, like I say, that this body is the only body that we bring either in our personal life or professional life. Mm-hmm. So it cannot be separated like between professional care and self-care. No, that's amazing insight that I got. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah, thank you. And you know, when we think about selfish, my culture too, especially my generation, the learning from my parents, my parents' parents, my parents' parents' parents was, especially for a woman, that it is your job to make sure everyone's okay first, and then if if there's time, which there never is, then I'm a good person if I look after myself quietly and when everybody else is sorted. And whereas really, if I want to show up not only for my clients but for my kids, for my partner, for my family, for my friends, then the only way I can hold that safe space for them to go on their own voyage of self-discovery or exploration or looking at what is, even if it's, especially if it's difficult, is to, I mean, how long did it take me to sing that little song? And it's a lot faster in my head. I put my feet on the ground, I sing that little song, I bring myself back to groundedness, playfulness, openness. I'm there for them, and I'm really there for them, and I'm present for them, I'm available for them. They get much more from me, and it doesn't drain me in the slightest, because me holding that space for them, I'm learning too. And I'm noticing what's going on for me too. And I'm able to hold that space, however difficult, with awe and wonder and curiosity, compassionate curiosity, and also notice when anything touches me, when anything triggers me, when, you know, we talked about this blank canvas, when my colors mix with someone else's, when I feel my emotions rising, I can spot them, notice them, give them gratitude, and pop them to one side. I can get curious about them afterwards, maybe what was going on for me, and but really it's me doing that moment for myself. It's not that I'm going to a spa for a week and then showing up. It's a moment for me. And then I can be there for the other.
I think as much as it is for me, I think it will be also for the audience a very revealing. Well, I guess I cannot convince myself that it will be for others, but at least for me, to see supervision, like coaching supervision, not only as a means for professional development, but really at the same time as a means for self-care. And like putting the two together is really make it so powerful because it's like it goes together well.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, it's that and so much more. One of the things, well, when I go to supervision, and I have 3 supervisors. I'm a supervisor. I have supervision on my supervision. I have a group supervision where I'm just part of a group, and I have my one-to-one supervision. So
wow.
it's not for people who don't know what they're doing. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. When I go to supervision, I'm going to charge my batteries. I'm going with an open heart and mind and excited because I know that I'm going to come out seeing things in a different way. I'm going into supervision knowing that I can say the unsayable, I can bring the unthinkable, and it's just something to curiously play with. I can bring ethical issues that I maybe would otherwise whip myself with. I can bring them and we play with them. And all the time knowing that I can't shock anyone in supervision. All I can do is open up my perspectives. Again, that's just exactly what that poem was about. It's this magic. You bring whatever ingredients and pow, we've got magic. And I'm plugging myself in. And even when I'm not in supervision, I have like a little book next to me, and when I have a session and I just feel a bit something didn't flow there, or I started something and then had to switch, and I'm not quite sure why it didn't work with this client, but it worked with that client. I make a note in the book, ideas to bring to supervision.
Hmm.
And even just knowing that I'm taking a note and this would be really cool to bring to supervision is a very, very different energy for a coach than if I think, oh my God, did I do that wrong? Did I miss something? Did I not ask? What was going on with that client that wasn't with the other client? Should I have done this? Is there another tool or model that would have worked best there? I don't feel very, very good about how that went. I wonder how the client is feeling. There is none of that because I've just made myself a little note that says, here's something to get curious about. And again,
Wow.
it's not going inwards and beating me up, but it's also self-care because I'm saying this is an external curiosity that happened. Some things came together and that happened. I'm going to bring that to supervision. And it's like putting your feet back on the floor and saying, let's clear the space then and come back to me, because the only way I can show up properly for the next client is to clear all of that, giggle about it if I need to, and come back to it's self-care, selfishness. We have all of these triggers. One thing I love to think is if I say yes to something, what am I saying no to? If I say no to something, what am I saying yes to? If I say I'm not going to go to supervision I don't have the money, I don't have the time, it's not convenient this week, then what else am I actually saying yes to? I might be saying yes to letting these narratives play in my head. I might be saying yes to exhausting myself. I might be saying yes to, do you know, it's a really fine line that if I say yes to spending that time with supervision, yes to making that investment into supervision, well, I'm saying no to bad nights of sleep or no to being stressed in the next coaching session. It's if I say yes to me, then I'm also saying yes to my clients.
I think that's a powerful statement that you've just said. If I'm saying yes to me, which is if I'm taking care of me, not just, I say courses is definitely good, but really looking at the inner parts of me and taking care of the inner parts of me is really something that is not just beneficial for me, but it's also beneficial for my client. And because it's beneficial for my client, it's going definitely beneficial for my professional world. So it's really bringing the concept of this intertwinedness, like things cannot be either this or that. It has to be like all together. And that's sort of like amazing concept. So cool. I'm just mindful about the time, and I'm sorry, I think my laptop needs to be charged. Okay, I think we're good. So, okay, so we've touched about quite a number of things. So I wonder what would you like to say as a conclusion note?
What would I like to say as a conclusion out? For those people that are in supervision, yay! You know what I'm talking about. You know what this magic is all about. And you know how joyous coaching can be. For the people who haven't tried, I would say go and try. It costs nothing to try. And the magic happens. I can't tell you about the magic. You can't take a course on getting the magic. It's a relational magic. You with yourself, you with the coach, you're with the coachee and the supervisor. There are all these relational dynamics going on. And it's not until you're actually in that situation getting playful with a case or something ethical that you can feel that magic. And most supervisors offer a first session free because it's relational. So yes, I might be talking to you now as the expert on supervision, but I might not be the right supervisor for you. It's even more relational than coaching. So try some supervisors out. Go find out what it's all about. That's
wow. Thank you. Yeah, I think magic really, we only know how it feels when we experience it, because like it's very hard to find words to describe magic. And I love the way you say it, that it's relational. So that's why it cannot be like something done like in a large setting, but because we really focus on that person and bring out the magic within that person.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And I think it's probably important, Ellen, just very, very quickly to add something onto there as well, that as anyone can call themselves a coach, anyone can call themselves a supervisor. And whilst that is, it can be dangerous with coaching for coaches that haven't been properly trained and don't have supervision, please, please, please make sure that your supervisor has specific coaching supervision training. The coaching supervision training delves far, far deeper into the psychological aspects. So a supervisor is holding an even more complex, an even broader space, a more ethical space. So to hold all of those relational, situational stuff, get someone that's properly trained and has their own supervision naturally.
Yeah. So if any of the audience would like to have this experimental session with you, so how can they contact you?
They can go to insideoutcoaching.com. That's www.inside-out-coaching.com. And in there, you'll see all sorts of information about supervision. I think it's cool. There's a cool little cartoon that I made around the difference between coach mentoring and coach supervision. If you still have questions about that, and just click book an introductory session with me and come and play.
Oh, cool.
And as you said, you can find out quite a bit more in the back of the book and in the coaching cards. There's a great deal about supervision in there as well.
Well, thank you, Jillian, for sharing that. And for anyone who is listening to this, either by live or by replay, feel free to reach out to Jillian at the contacts she has just mentioned. And also, if you would like to know more about her thoughts, like I mentioned, this is an amazing book. And you'll find a lot of prompt questions also for reflection there that I think you will find very beneficial. So yeah, feel free to just reach out to Jillian, get her book, and see what you get, and just collect gems along your journey. So thank you so much, Jillian, for making time to share your experience, your thoughts, your wisdom. I definitely benefit from it. I'm sure the audience also benefit from it. So thank you so much again.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me, Ellen. And I look forward to talk to you again very soon.
Yes, definitely. So for everyone who has joined, thank you again for making time. I'm checking every now and then. I haven't seen any questions, so I'm assuming that means it's quite clear. I hope so. But if you have any questions, you know how to reach Jillian, so feel free to reach out to her. And also, if you would like to know more about our coaching clinic program, feel free to reach out to our contacts. Also, reach out to our email address or our social media, and we will get back to you with whatever clarification that we need. So thank you so much again for making time with us. I know, again, time is always precious. So I admire you for spending time to really get to know more about supervision, because like Jillian says, it is not just a means of self-care or just a means for professional development. It's both. It's so rich, it's so magical. And when we really make it a serious thing to pay attention to our magic, we can bring that magic out. And I'm sure within, like Julian said, every coach has its own magic. And we just light up the world. So thank you again. And I look forward to seeing you all in our next week's session. And if you want to know more about what's available for next week, feel free to tune in to our social media posts. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. And I am wishing you all the best for the coming month. We are going to approach April soon. I know in your part of the world, spring is really either it's at the door, it's already entering. In our part of the world, we are going to go into the dry season now. So all the best for whatever season that we are going to approach. I'm sure like when we are open-hearted, open-minded, there's always magic. Thank you.
Lovely end comment. Thank you.